Yeah, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Swati Sood, and I'm a PhD researcher at University of West of England, Bristol. And currently, I'm now in my third year of my doctoral research. And my supervisor team includes Dr. Carla De Laurentiis and Professor Enda Hayes, and they are from my same university. And today, I will be presenting my research that I have done so far, and I will share especially the results of my recently conducted surveys with professionals from the wind industry and highlight the key outcomes and the implications for my study. So, the scope of my doctoral research is to centered on addressing the critical challenges of wind turbine waste management in the United Kingdom wind industry, with a particular focus on unlocking the potential of circular economy strategies. And the overreaching aim of my study is to strengthen the waste management strategies by identifying and leveraging the circular economy opportunities. And they can operate both the within industry and across the different other industries as well. And to achieve this, my research follows a threefold approach, as you can see in the slides for the objective one in part A. That includes a kind of conceptual understanding. In the very first stage, it involves reviewing the existing literatures, policy frameworks, and industrial practices to define the scope and the nature of end-of-life waste management problem in the UK wind sector, and this stage one provides me a theoretical theoretical grounding that situates with the issue within the border sustainability and the resource efficiency database. And for the objective number two for the part B, it builds on the foundation to examine how the circular economy approaches can be applied in the industrial practices by using the empirical data from the surveys, expert interviews, and case study. Here I aim to investigate the opportunities and constraints from the stakeholders' perspective that includes the various divisions and the supply chain actors such as manufacturers, operators, policymaker, and recyclers. And this approach allows me a comprehensive understanding of both the practical feasibility and the challenges involved and the actions that require to overcome it. And while the last stage, that is part C for the objective three, the research moves towards developing our guiding principles, and and these principles aims to provide actionable insights for the policymakers, industry leaders, and other stakeholders to support the more sustainable and resource efficient practices across the different life cycle of wind energy infrastructure.
Could you speak a bit louder? We're having trouble hearing you. Could you increase your volume, please?
So this slide shows a kind of research framework that I have adopted for my research, and it combines semi-systematic literature review, case studies, surveys, interviews, and to identify the different opportunities and the different aspect of circular economy principle and the reverse supply chain. And ultimately, it leads to provide evidence-based strategies for the sustainable the management of wind turbine mature assets. So before proceeding, let's have a look at the onshore wind farms database in the United Kingdom. So according to Renewable UK and the Digest of UK Energy Statistic, that is Duke, in total of 261 megawatt of onshore wind installed capacity, that is almost about 542 turbines that have been in operations pre-1988, and further 1,149 have been operations between 1999 to 2005, and it is expected this capacity could be decommissioned by this year, and there are expectations that this will be roughly 4 times higher by the year 2032, while the other chart shows the onshore wind turbines portfolio, and it shows that the Scotland has the most renewable energy capacity, especially in the pre-planning stage, as you can see in the yellow. And that data is from the last year, and England has the significant amount of operation capacity, but very little in the other states, while the Northern Ireland and Wales have the smallest overall capacity, but Wales has more pre-planning development capacity than England. So, in continuation to my previous slides, this slide shows the potential decommissioning capacities for the onshore, and the peak in 2025 represent the higher point. And this is significant as the UK first generation of the wind farm installed in early 2000 began to reach at its end of 2000 and to its the operation life, that is almost 20 to 25 years. And after the peak, the number of wind turbine is projected to decrease. And this chart shows a cycle of decommissioning growth and subsequently declining in the number of wind turbines over the 30-year of period as shown. So, uh, so back to my research analysis that I did in my previous year. I did a semi-systematic literature review that was conducted in the year 2023 to achieve the objective number one, and in which I did a comprehensive review of almost 71 published articles that comprise of journals and industrial database and government published documents. And trying to analyze that what is the prospect of circular economy and how industry works in between. So it has been, as you can show in, I try to develop a Sankey diagram that shows interconnection between the different circular economy principles and the key challenges that has been listed in these journals and articles, and how they are associated with wind turbine parts. And the research has also noted that some of the circular economy principles that are interlinked, that such as the recycling and reuse for wind turbines blades. And it has been also noted that technical issue is mostly identified in the articles. And it is also noted that the more research is needed for the energy recovery and how the supply chains can help to overcome these identified challenges. And you can see in the Prisma flow diagram how I conducted that semi-systematic literature review. So in continuation, I have also concluded the scope of improvement that has mentioned in the articles with the circular economy concept. And as you can see, there is a big chunk of debate, discussion is almost about the wind turbine blades in terms of rethink, remanufacture, reuse, reduce, recovery, and recycle. And as you can see also that there is less discussion at that moment about the rare earth elements. And yeah, and I have also concluded the key research gap and future directions for my research. That review shows that while the technical challenges with wind blades are well documented, but there is also a very limited research of end-of-life management for other components. And there are a few studies focused on recovering energy from the waste material. And it has been also noted that more research is needed to understand how changes in the supply chain can remove the identified barriers, and how circular economy can impact these barriers. And future research should focus on designing the turbine, especially blades, for easily disassembly and reuse. And it has also noted that there is a need to improve the method of categorizing and quantifying waste material before the installation to enable a more effective and end-of-life waste management plan. So back to my research that for for the surveys and following the comprehensive literature review, I identify several key challenges, scope of innovation, and a centered theme for applying circular economy principles. And however, to understand the circular economy pathway, it is essential to hear the voice of stakeholders who are in the front line, because as you know that wind industry is a very complex ecosystem with diverse industrial players and multiple stakeholders and supply chains involved. And it is not justified to just follow the journals and articles. So to get a holistic view, I conducted surveys and the followed semi-structured interviews. And this dual approach allows not only quantifying the opinions of these key players, but also to get a rich qualitative insight. And the question was specifically designed to explore the improvement area identified in the literature review. So here you can see in the slide how the objective goes from the stakeholder analysis, then developing the survey, and how the interviews and surveys are interconnected to find the conclusion. So for the survey, the 30 participants were surveyed, and they participated in my survey, and they were from wind industry, circular economy stakeholders, such as few of them are from waste management, while other are from supply chain, government, policy consultants. And the following slides shows the result of my survey analysis. So, when we ask the participants for their perception of waste, wind turbine waste such as metal, plastic, and composite, when they should be considered during the different life cycle stages. So, the finding shows that the dismantling and end of life phase was seen as the most critical for the waste management, while the installation is less considered. And the other stages receive a moderate attention, and project planning has given a very low priority by the participant. And the reason was given like further when we asked, there were some open-ended questions as well. And the common reason was given was the longer lifespan and the ownership. And following the below graph, it shows when for the short, mid, and long loop, the participants stated the possibility of adopting which further categorize for adopting the short, mid, and long loop. And most likely to adopt strategies are R3 reuse, R4 repair, R5 refurbish, R2 reduce, and R7 R purpose. That shows a strong support by the participant, and a moderate possibility of adoption potential is seen for the remanufacture and recover, that is R6 and R9. And the lower adoption potential is noted for recycle, reuse, and rethink. That is possibly because of the challenge related to the complex structure and material composition of wind turbine, which hinder the practical implementation of the recycling, rethink, and refuse strategies. So, in continuation to the analysis, when participants were asked to opine for at which particular stage of life cycle different circular economy principle that varies from R0 to R9 according to circular economy ladder should be prioritized. So the finding indicates that the early stage decision during project planning plays a crucial role in implementing circular economy, particularly RO refuse, R1 rethink, R2 reduce, and R3 using material. And as expected, the dismantling and end of life phase is primarily focused on recovering activities such as repurposing, recycling, repairing, and refurbishing. And in contrast, it is surprising to know that the installation phase receive a comparatively less attention for circular economy practices, and the procurement and manufacturing stage shows a moderate but very less pronounced integration of the circular economy principle. And from the identified literature, the participant rated the few of the challenges as shown in the below graph, which shows that the technical regulatory factors are considered major. Implementation of adopting of circular economy and collaboration and operational perceptual barrier may be less uniformly perceived as limiting. So in the next phase, when participants were asked to rate the noted initiative that could improve the circular metrics in the wind sector, So the graph suggests that policy regulation, innovation, and coordinated implementation, that is collaboration, are seen as the most influential factor in driving circular economy principle. And while the LCA, that is life cycle analysis, considered less important, and that is possibility because of the lack of standardized data at the moment. And for the below graph, uh, as you can know that circular economy can be function as a set of strategies to enhance the business model of each sector, that is called a circular business model. And a few circular business model typologies were asked to rate based on their present prospect of deployment. And out of 9 different circular business model typologies, the refurbishing scored the higher mean value, and it shows the strong support among participant. And remanufacturing and reusing also scores high mean value, indicating favorable perception, while in contrast the closed loop recycling and demand reduction was less favorable by the participant. So so further, when the participants were asked to vote for the policy level improvement that is required to enhance the circularity in wind sector, as you can see, the most of the participants stated that there is need for the policies that can promote the second life of asset and policies to mandate the ownership and clear the responsibilities after end of life operation, especially for the manufacturers and the operators. And for the following graph, for the rating of no one solutions that may support the circular transition, the life cycle assessment emerges as the most valuable approach, and this is followed by the material reuse and repurposing and advanced recycling technologies, while in contrast, business model developments and design for disassembly and design for recycling were perceived as less relevant for adoption in the current industrial practices. So it can be seen that I have received mixed response for various questions, and I tried to collaborate. I try to find that what is the core themes that can be emerges from the survey. So based on that, I have done a thematic analysis. So that is based on the all set of questions, and a few open-ended questions were given as well to have participant more choice to write what they feel about the circular economy transition. So it can be seen that the circular economy strategies in wind turbines that are mostly effective when applied early at the project planning stage or during the component recovery stage. And the key challenges include the regulatory barriers, ownership issues, and the uncertainty around component reliability, which as usual limits the reuse, repair, and manufacturing process. And phase consider are often driven by the cost, practicality, and legal operation issues rather than the circular economy principle is itself. And the actions to improve a circular economy includes better regulation, digitalization, data sharing, cloud-based availability of data, and incentives for using the recycled material. So based on the rating questions and thematic analysis, so these 4 themes were emerges, and uh, these so my in my next phase I will do the interview. So I will try to uh, find the more perspective of these survey participant for these 4 aspects. So the conclusion and outlook of my survey findings. So the survey response demonstrate that for adopting circular economy strategies in the wind sector, they required a proactive and holistic approach, and clear ownership of the assets and responsibility throughout the life cycle is essential to ensure the accountability of end of life management and the sustainable practices. And the strong policy support is needed that include the regulation, incentives, and guidance that plays a critical role in enabling and enforcing the circular economy initiative. and standardization of components, material, and process can facilitate the reuse, refurbish, and recycling across the globe, while the regulatory and framework is essential to ensure consistency across different regions. Also, the asset lifespans of turbine and the components directly influence the decisions, and with the longer life, assets require careful planning for eventual recovery, reuse, and repurposing. And overall, these factors determine how efficiently circular economy principles can be implemented and integrated into the sector, shaping both the sustainability outcome and economical feasibility. And for the outlook moving forward, improving circularity in wind sector required a multifaceted approach that includes the initiatives from the different actors from the supply chains and the organization, and enhancing data sharing across the manufacturer operators, maintenance teams will enable better tracking of component life, material composition, and potentially reuse opportunities. And digitalization through tools such as digital tool asset management product platforms and predictive maintenance can help to optimize the end of life decision making, and ensuring components are timely repaired, refurbished, and recycled efficiently so that we have the maximum life of the assets. And initiatives for recycled materials such as tax breaks or preferential procurement policies can make circular solution economically attractive and encourage its wider adoption. And lastly, the regulatory harmonization across regions and stakeholders is critical to reduce the barriers of transportation, processing, and using components. And overall, together, these all measures can significantly help to improve the circularity matrix in the wind sector and unlock its full potential of circularity. So that is from my side. Thank you so much. And I think I should stop my screen sharing now. Questions are welcome.